Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And wow, some bold price action by Bitcoin helping the whole market rise up over 3%. Bitcoin is trading at 88,260 at the time of this recording. But there is just some nice action. We've got Doge up 8.23%. And look at Ondo up 9.39%. SWI up 8.59%, HBAR up 6.9%, AVAX up over 10%. Yeah, there's just a lot of really nice action. Ooh, how everyone is hoping that it goes up and to the right from here. There are so many chart analysts making, well, wild price predictions, yes, reading market movements, but few do it with on-chain analysis. And I'm going to be hosting Brian from Santiment tomorrow. I was the first XRP channel to feature him and this website. That took place back in 2020. They really didn't cover XRP back then. Of course, as we know, it's quite different today. We're going to be taking a look at XRP, Flare, and SWI. I know everybody's seen little tiny clips here and there of the interview with the director of product, Jazzy Cooper, who is part of the Ripple X developers division, if you will, the entity that is under the Ripple umbrella. And she did so with Tony from Thinking Crypto. It was superb. And there were a lot of points. One in particular that I noticed a lot of people don't understand is the private ledger. And it has nothing to do with XRP, the XRP ledger, or price. I was just quite amazed, really, at the lack of understanding. Basically, when you have a private ledger, it's a fork of the code, which is open source, and you can stand up your own blockchain, customize it as you see fit. And XRP has nothing to do with it. It is completely a separate blockchain. And very often, if not always, they will use their own digital asset to secure the chain. A perfect example of this is Zahao. Zahao is a fork of the code, and they customized it in many ways, but maybe the most famous way they customized it is with smart contracts. We're going to listen to a 3-minute clip from Jazzy in what I thought was some of the most important points that she brought up. But first, let's take a look at a little bit of what's going on in the space. Attorney Jeremy Hogan has hung up his skates. Oh boy, will he be missed. His education and his humor. How this space has changed over the last 7+ years since I've been in the community. I've met some of the most wonderful people, and most I can call my close friends. We are here, pictured in London, Jeremy, King Solomon, James Rule XRP, yes, and the big BG Brad Garlinghouse himself in a cutout. I can't tell you how much fun we had with this cutout. I mean, the kind of fun that brings tears to your eyes over and over. This cutout, yeah, is now in my office and it adorns my corner, and I still laugh every time I see it. Big news coming out of the NASDAQ in Stockholm, Sweden. We've got 3 new exchange traded products. Yeah, that would be Solana, XRP, and BTC. Woo! All of them are 100% physically backed. Crippen Writer had a wonderful, wonderful XRP Ledger vocabulary overview, and it gave me the inspiration that I think what this community needs is an XRP certification test. Yeah, if you can't pass the test, I'll let you finish that sentence. But seriously, this is a suggestion that I think an entrepreneur could really run with in our space. I've received a lot of DMs and a lot of comments in the last video about Flare not complying with MiCA. Well, they do comply. They filled out all the relevant paperwork. It is currently Bitstamp's custodian for Flare that isn't MiCA certified. So they're working with other custodians to make sure Bitstamp will be able to resume service for Flare in Europe. I am very bullish on Flare, and the Flare networks is going to be like a huge Lego city for assets like Bitcoin and XRP and Dogecoin and others. It's a big finance kit. They have the built-in EVM. It's built in the layer 1. That's a big, big difference. Enshrined oracles, the decentralized data tools, smart wallets. These are the PMWs that were just announced. Think of them as super safe piggy banks that are able to move money across chains with no middleman. You have also the off-chain compute, bridged assets with no issuer trust. I mean, this with the AI that's being rolled out, with the Google hackathon winners that are being fast tracked, I just don't see how you can't be bullish. And yes, with the current market cap and the price, I find it's a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. What I've discovered is that DePIN has my attention. This is decentralized physical infrastructure networks. And it's because there is a convergence. Finally, compute, chips, data, AI, it has enabled cutting edge developments. And this We Are DePIN has some of the best live spaces. It's brought to you by Minima Global, and they are truly one of the leaders in this space. Let me take you back to that video with Jazzy Cooper, and you can hear in her own words how these private ledgers operate independently from the public XRP ledger mainnet, and the transactions are not counted as part of the public ledger. Also, there's under-collateralized loans coming, and if banks are willing to adopt blockchain, the cost savings will be exciting. And as the cherry blossoms fall here in Japan, until next time, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
RippleX is a distinct business unit within Ripple that focuses on the XRP ledger, the public layer 1 blockchain. So we participate with the XRPL in a number of different ways. My team, the product team, contributes to the core features and capabilities. So we'll design alongside the community, implement, propose new feature amendments for the XRP ledger. It works a little bit differently in that it's not smart contract based, so a lot of the new features are at the core blockchain level. Some other teams within RippleX focus on developer enablement. That can be either through programs like accelerators, incubators, grants, as well as through technical tooling. So client libraries, explorers, and a variety of different tools that can help the ecosystem of dApp developers build and launch their products. So that's really the focus on RippleX. We stand alongside other businesses within Ripple, that focus on other products such as RLUSD, custody, and payments, for example.
Is this EVM sidechain different from a private sidechain?
Yeah, so with XRP Ledger, there's the ability to create custom sidechains if you wish. And these are just like Ethereum, the EVM sidechain, it is fully distinct from the XRP Ledger. And with that, you can configure the settings as you wish. So I know this is a model that was used in the past for projects like CBDCs, where maybe you want a more permissioned environment or more controlled environment of who can use the chain, but it is entirely distinct from public XRPL mainnet.
Are any of those transactions, while we may not know what's happening, are they counted towards the XRP mainnet or not? It's completely separate.
No, they're completely separate blockchains, not counted in any part of, XRPL mainnet consensus or anything like that. They're distinct chains that allow for bridging, just like any other blockchain. So we're working on a XRPL native lending protocol made up of a couple of different components, but it basically allows for fixed term under collateralized loans in V1 to be originated directly on the XRP ledger. So that kind of rounds out what I see as the kind of core pillars of bringing TradFi onto blockchain, which is support for payments, support for trading, and support for credit, which are clearly some of the key components that make our TradFi system work today. If banks are willing to adopt some of these modern infrastructure components like blockchain and help remove inefficiencies and push on some of those cost savings to the borrower, reduce some of the inaccessibility that exists in our current credit system, then yeah, I think that's a really exciting future.